The hosts of the Swine Brothers show are not role models. They're not even human. They're complete monsters. The Swine Brothers show is dumb, crude, thoughtless, ugly, sexist, self-destructive, foolish, and a crime against humanity. Some of the things they do would cause a person to get hurt, expelled, arrested, possibly deported. The fact they blatantly ripped this off from another source should be an indicator of their shameless depravity. This extreme in bad taste will offend anyone with a working brain, so listener discretion is advised. If you're still here, welcome to the sewer of the internet.
Holy fuckballs, I just pissed my pants again.
Looks like you lost that game.
Yeah, I lost the battle.
No, I still laugh at the intro, especially the thoughtless comment. I still think that's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, welcome to the Swine Brothers show, the thoughtless sewer of the internet. Even though we have more thoughts than most modern shows. You can get in touch with us at cosmicgodsdie@gmail.com. Facebook is Swine Brothers, or facebook.com/@SwineBros666, and Twitter, or whatever it's called now. I refuse to say X because that's just stupid. Sounds like a porn site. Is Swine Bros 666. We are not on a porn site, not yet at least.
Yes, that's much sadness.
We tried Swine Bros nudes and everyone went blind. So, and of course we have our Discord now, Swine Metal Cult. No idiots allowed. Only the cool people, which you can find in our description. And if you're having trouble with the invite link because Discord links are weird, let me know and I'll send you a link. Anyway, I'm your host Elliot Lindemood, and my usual co-host is.
I am the Jim, the Seeing Eye Mutant. And remember, kiddies, to like, comment, subscribe, share the fuck out of it because we suck at self-promotion.
Yeah, share. Especially, I love getting comments. We're actually getting some comments now, and I love interacting with people. Even if the comments are, you're an incompetent asshole and you should be
executed
by eaten by dogs.
I love being executed through rectal blending.
Well, yeah, but you do that anyway.
Maybe.
I mean, that's you. I mean, what do you think we do when we're off not doing the show?
I don't know.
Yes, 2 shows in 2 weeks. You never thought this would happen, did you?
Nah. Anyways. Yeah, I'm still hearing it fucking to this day, and it pisses me off. Because people are this brain dead.
There's been a lot of brain dead. I've had to deal with some of that in the past couple days.
Mm-hmm.
People are incredibly brain dead, and it turns out I'm not as much of an asshole as I thought. So,
you see, my question is, which is death metal? Is it this? Or is it this? We'll listen to more of that one later.
Oh, I was enjoying that one. Yeah, I mean, yeah. A lot of it is people who I hate the term metal elitism, and someone who commented on it said that they think the term's idiotic as well. Unfortunately, it's the term that we're branded with, so we, rather than fight it, we just embrace it.
What? Because we don't accept fucking new metal as a metal subgenre because it's heavily distorted alt rock.
Yeah, so we're elitist. I mean, I call myself a semi-elitist because Jim, you know that there are people so much worse than we are.
Oh yeah.
Maggot stomp bands suck. I hate maggot stomp bands. Fuck off. And some of those people are my friends, and if you're listening, you're awesome, but you're also an idiot.
Yes.
Uh, Toxic Holocaust sold out. How did Toxic Cannibal Corpse sold out? Like, yeah, because Cannibal Corpse are playing like, I mean, their new album. Have you heard the singles from it? It's total Slipknot worship. Oh no, wait, it's death metal. But
Yeah.
so yeah, the whole I hate the term metal elitist, but
I don't. I don't give a shit. You want to know why? You should always be looking for the best. And yes, sometimes you have to listen to the worst to know what the best is.
well, I just think it's a
Or
misnomer.
completely
But anyway,
brain dead garbage. And
so
just be like, okay, I'm bored. Let's listen to something that actually makes me think.
but the thing is, so I saw someone calling. I got in an argument the other day with someone calling Slipknot death metal, and when I said they weren't, they said, "Well, that's because you're not open-minded enough to see that death metal's evolved." And I'm like, "I'm sorry,
What?
what?"
I mean, I've actually seen it evolve into other forms of metal, not fucking heavily distorted alt rock. Sorry.
Yeah, and some you like, some you don't.
Yeah,
whatever.
some I don't. Someone's like, whatever. Others are like, okay, that's cool. Even the shit I don't like within metal, I can at least recognize that it's metal. And I can also recognize when it's not. Like the entire genre of new metal. It's not metal. New metal is a label that corporate big tank think heads tried to throw out there to latch on to metalhead loyalty bucks, because metalheads do one thing that most other music genre fans don't. We buy entire discographies, physical copies, mind you, of bands that we like. So they were hoping to latch onto that with fucking brain mush.
And also, it's something that they could not only latch onto it, but also market, because even when metal had flirtations with the mainstream like thrash, they couldn't really control it. It's not, it wasn't really something they could control. And thrash
It couldn't just spit out the same boo-hoo, I'm a troubled teenager lyrics.
And thrash is mainstream.
Yeah. Thrash is pretty damn mainstream. It's close.
Well, Thrash's mainstream stuff was kind of short-lived. I'm not counting the big four. A lot of the like I said, a lot of the thrash mainstream, all the bands he went on to major labels, they were dropped as soon as the '90s happened, because major labels were looking for the next big thing. Mm-hmm. And I don't think Korn ever considered themselves metal. I think they were in glam bands and stuff like that.
So I remember back in the day when they were trying to push grunge as the new metal, and even grunge musicians at the time were like, "No, we're not metal." Even though the corporations kept trying to say, "This is metal," the musicians playing the music themselves were like, "No, we're not metal." I think over the years they finally caved in just because they kept hearing it, but they adamantly said, "We're not metal," and I could respect that.
I'd say Alice in Chains was about the most metal grunge could get. You could tell they loved Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
I'm talking about early Alice in Chains, not, But but yeah, they and then later on they tried the new metal thing. But so Slipknot and of course, and someone came at me with, well, a couple of them were in death metal and grindcore bands, a couple of them were in Anal Blast, and I know one of them has an immolation tattoo, which is okay, cool. But just because you were in a death metal band and you like death metal, maybe you have introduced a little bit of extreme metal to new metal. Does it make you death metal?
No, it does not. I mean,
but
fuck.
Okay, I have to say this because a lot of people misinterpret it. So, I'm a member of the Metal Archives community, and we've had our differences and stuff. And sometimes I think they're actually not as hard as they should be on what is metal and what's not. But why isn't this band on Metal Archives or whatever? And no one's giving me any, and no one's telling me why this band is not Metal Archives. And the reason is they've been telling you since I was about 4 years old, 5 years old, 98, 99 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go step by step through Slipknot and explain why you don't think it's metal because there's way too many outside influences, you know what the reply you get? You just don't like it, so it's not metal. Even like, why would we want to waste our breath? We can go through 30 minutes of this shit, and all we get is you don't like it because it's not metal. Like, so yeah, people have stopped answering these questions because there's 20-something years of answering these questions on Google, and again, if we answer them, you don't listen.
Yeah, and you never have.
No.
And this was another thing. I've been playing this one game called fucking Disco Elysium, and and the thing that made me play it was like, okay, there's a bunch of these people that were saying, oh my god, this is like 100% pure colony propaganda. I'm like, really? Let's see what colony propaganda was. And at the very start of the game, it felt like, yeah, this was colony propaganda. Then I got my hands on one of the communist books that were in game, and it was pretty much Twitter, and it was taking a huge piss on communist Twitter. I mean, a giant fucking steaming, heaping turd coming out of your own cock kind of piss.
Ow.
That's how fucking horrible it was. And then, you could try to become a communist yourself with one of your thought things, and once you resolve it, it's like 0.000% of communism has been achieved. And you think that, their universe's version of Karl Marx lied to you. But that's okay. You could still be a communist. You just, ditch, trying to work for communism. Just harshly reflect the reality of this world. Oh yeah, and you can't have communism without cracking a few million eggs.
Now, when I was a kid, I used to think that Slipknot was metal. Part of why I was so defensive about it was because, I couldn't get death metal and stuff because oh my god, the album cover is horrible. You realize I'm blind, right? I can't see the damn album cover.
Yeah.
Maybe they thought they were backwards messages in the lyrics that would turn me into a serial killer. Little did they know I didn't need any encouragement. It was just fun. But anyway, so I got into whatever I could find, which is like Slipknot and Korn, just anything heavy. Well, anything I thought was heavy at the time. I was like 12, 13, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when people said that wasn't metal, because I always wanted to hang out with other metalheads, but of course there weren't any at my school, at least none that I knew of.
So what? You went online?
So I went online to a website, to a forum, and they had a. What?
I'm just laughing. You went online as a kid thinking Slipknot was metal, and you went online to a metal website, and I'm just imagining what happened to your brain after.
Well, it wasn't a metal website, but it was a metal subforum of a forum, and they said no new metal and no metalcore, and I was pissed because, I was like, what do you mean that's not metal? Or because I wanted to be a metalhead guy, because I was like I said, I was young and impressionable.
Uh-huh.
Now I'm old and nothing can get through to me. But yeah, so what do you mean no new? They're metal, they're heavy. What I was really saying is, oh come on, don't tell me I've wasted the last 3 years of my life. Which and I have to say, I mean they were blunt about it. They called me names and stuff, and I said that Dragon Force was the greatest guitarist ever. And God, but anyway, but they also hit me to different music. They would send me MP3s of Dark Throne, and I already knew what death and black metal were, because I heard of Cannibal Corpse and Burzum, but I always just assumed that, new metal was just an offshoot of that. Because, again, I was 12 to 14. So I get into the MP3 blogs and start finding 80s death metal and 80s NWOBHM, and people are sending me, Dark Throne and black metal stuff and death metal stuff. I come back to Slipknot, and I'm like, wow, not only this is not as angry as I thought, I mean, dramatically angry. Well, I was laughing because I could hear the heavy breathing that Corey was doing. That heavy breathing that's supposed to signify I'm really, really angry, but really just signifies, that he's about to burst into tears because his mommy made him clean his room.
Yeah,
But
mommy made me clean my room.
so I'm gonna
It's so
cry
sad.
and scream.
But I'm just thinking of another thing now that's starting to pop in my head. Because I keep hearing fucking people claiming they can cover this song. It's a video game song. Let me look it up real quick. Okay. There we go. Now you can hear that open chord played, right? That little scaling thing in the back.
Yeah.
Every single person that claims to do a metal cover of this song doesn't do that.
Yeah.
That's like the most metal part of the fucking song right there. That could break easily into a fucking solo. But no one plays that part. And they call it metal? No, the fucking Famicom version is a million times more metal than what you claim is metal. What you're playing is hard rock. Get over yourself.
So when I went back to the old stuff, not only did I not hear what the anger, but I didn't hear the metal in it. I was like, okay, there's, it's down tuned and stuff, but I don't know. I hear a lot more outside influences than, and they admit it. I mean, they admit that they listen to a lot more than metal in it. Not that bands don't, of course, but. Yeah, I heard, I didn't hear what I thought I heard, but that I told the person that, well, you were just trying to conform to the prevailing opinion. I'm like, wait, but the prevailing opinion is that Slipknot's metal. We're like a loud minority here.
Yeah.
Like
the prevailing opinion is, worship the mainstream, and it has to be popular to be good.
Yeah.
Because if it's unpopular, it has to always suck.
The prevailing opinion is Slipknot, so when I got into Metal Archives, there were two sacred cows that I firmly believed. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Master of Puppets is the greatest metal album of all time. And Pantera saved metal in the 90s. And that Pantera were one of the greatest metal bands of all time.
You had to say those things while I was taking a drink, you fucker. Trying to kill me here.
I did that to my GF once. She said, "Don't make a joke because I'm drinking water." And I said something. I must have said it in a funny way because she choked on water. She's like, "Yeah." I was like, "I swear to fuck, I didn't mean to do that." So now I'm not allowed to talk whatever she's drinking.
Yes.
So I have a bad track record when it comes. But you've done that to me too.
Yeah, I know.
But anyway.
But still, Silent Scream a million times better than that. Master of Puppets.
But okay.
And why does metal need saving? It needs to die so it could fester underground for a while and get better.
So I mean, I still really like Master of Puppets. I think it's a really good album. Would I rank it in the top 30 of 1986? Probably not. 86 was such a great year for.
It was good.
Yeah. Rain of Blood, Pleasure to Kill, Darkness Descends, that came 87. Morbid Visions, Obsessed by Cruelty, Infernal Death's Demo. 86 was an amazing year for metal. That's just 6 right off the bat.
Yeah.
Peace Sells, Game Over.
Peace Sells, fucking, yeah.
And Game Over by Nuclear Assault. So yeah, I don't. I mean, I showed you that review that gave it a 0, and I would not give it a 0. I give it like 70 or 80, but still. So
I
when I
still
so
like
when I
that one fucking review you sent me that said the moment that fucking Dave
Mustaine
Mustaine went on that fucking bus was the moment Megadeth became the better band.
became more metal, that was the one that gave a 0, and it's hilarious, and I don't agree with it with giving it a 0, but yes, I do agree with that. But so I went onto Metal Archives and I was reading Master of Puppets reviews and like, wait a minute, what do you mean this is weaker than Ride the Lightning? What do you mean this isn't as great as people say? Wait, what do you mean you hate Pantera? What? But Pantera was one of the greatest metal bands in the world. I mean, I was told by VH1 that Dimebag Darrell was the greatest
Yeah,
metal
you were told
guitarist
by
who ever lived.
VH1. You were told by VH1, corporate entities. Look, man, I'm a
Teenager,
capitalist, okay?
teenager Jim.
I have said it a million and one times. I'm a capitalist, but never fucking trust a corporation. They're only out for fucking money.
Well, to be fair, I didn't know they were employed by VH1 at the time. I just thought they were. I didn't realize that people who were. I thought metal DJs were like, every metal DJ was, respectable. Remember, I was a teenager. Remember, I was a teenager. So
Oh god, even when I first got into metal, what was his fucking name? He was like the VJ on fucking Headbangers Ball. And
Ricky
like
Rackman.
he liked every band. And I'm like, no.
I hate Ricky Rackman.
There was no way you could like every fucking single song by every fucking single band. No.
Well, he
No.
was very very
Because,
disingenuous.
I mean, even when I first got into metal, I was privy to the arguments where someone would say Black Sabbath sucks. They had good taste in music otherwise, but how? Or, they get really picky about their genres, what they listen to and shit. And, fine dandy. Decent taste in music with the ones you listen to, the ones you don't, okay, go away.
Yeah,
Now,
but
even today, my girlfriend doesn't want to listen to most bands that play any satanic lyrics. She has good taste in death metal, but a lot of those bands, she's like, no. And it's like, it annoys me, but at the same time, even though it annoys me that she fast forwards past the song, she does also kill music that I don't like. So, it may annoy me, but at the same time, she doesn't play shit I don't like whenever I'm around her.
see, my girl's
So
a
I'm not going to
Christian.
complain too much.
See, my girl's a Christian too, but she has a different attitude. She just goes, yeah, you and your little Satan LARP stuff, whatever, blah blah blah. And she likes like Dissection's last album,
Well, that's
which
what
is the
most of the bands are LARPs. Very few are actual
well,
Satanists.
not really, but whatever. I let it slide because she'll let me listen to it. So it doesn't. I mean, whatever. She likes the last Dissection album, which is the most satanic album ever recorded, ever. I love Rain Chaos. I think it's an amazing album, and it's a very religious album, but it's probably the most satanic album ever. She likes it. She likes the music, and she's like, yeah, whatever. He has his beliefs. I have mine. Whatever they, because she realizes that I'm a Satanist. So
I mean, there's always that thing where Paul the apostle used to eat meat sacrificed to fucking false idols, all because he knew that it was from a false god. How could a false god hurt him?
oh, little does he know. But anyway, so yeah, so going on to Metal Archives, it was like, and I got to understand why people didn't like Pantera, and then when I started hearing, more death and black metal, I was like, you know what? You could do so much more with the drum beat than just mindlessly groove. And then when I got older, I was like, you know what? These lyrics are stupid. Like, I mean, Phil's. I don't want to say the person I personally respect, although I hear the brothers were even more racist than Phil. They didn't like Mexicans, which is why Rick Mathiasen from later Steel Prophet didn't join the band. But anyway, yeah, how's that for your little scoops? Anyway, so even though he's the one I most musically respect because he has a toe in the underground with death and black metal bands, I was like, man, these lyrics are just juvenile. So I still like a couple Pantera albums. I like Power Metal and Trendkill, and Jim likes Far Beyond Drivel.
Yeah, that's good. I like.
You.
Oh, fuck you. You can rot as I shove it up your ass.
Play it around me and you die.
Oh, fine. We'll see about that.
But then again, play anything around me, I just really want to kill you, Jim.
I know. But it's that cannibalistic tendency we have where we have to kill and consume.
Why'd you kill me? I was playing Slayer. I know, but
I got the munchies.
yeah. that atomic weed really does stuff to you.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, but it was great because I could listen to other opinions, and that kind of made wow, I can actually form my own opinions. Cool. Because I was a very not impressionable teenager, but I wanted to, like, I was still in the I want to be accepted by the metalhead crowd before I realized I'd rather just be accepted by my friends. And the way to be accepted by your friends is just to be yourself.
Exactly.
Like, there's people who are trying to be more like us to be
Why?
accepted by us. Because
Why would you want to be like me? Do you even know half the things I did in my life? Okay. Let me give you this story. This was shortly after I left the ex-wife. I was alone, depressed, crying, in my early 30s. Boo-hoo, pity me. I went out and I paid a hooker $50. Sorry, 45. She knocked 5 off because instead of her giving me a blowjob, I ate her out. Imagine, if you would, someone who douched with raw sewage and then let it ferment for 300 days. And then, on top of that, rubbed it with rancid roadkill just before she dropped her drawers. That's what I dove in and ate out. It was disgusting. It was horrific. And the only thing I could say is my brain at the time said, you paid for it, you're doing it. Yeah, you want to be like me. These are the things you have to do to be like me. Disgusting, isn't it? I heard the mic go quiet. Did you just vomit?
that's disgusting.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
Yeah. These are the types of things you have to do if you want to be like me. My advice, don't do it.
I posted a song there in messages in the Skype message that would go along very well with that. The reason they want to be like us is because they don't want to be rejected, and they think that by being like us they won't be rejected by us. But being like us is not being yourself.
Exactly.
And I mean, even if yourself does get rejected, wouldn't it be better to be rejected by being you than being rejected by trying to pretend you're somebody else?
I mean, I just had this discussion with like a fucking normie the other day, and like they tipped my hat off to me because it's like, you know what the most popular opinion is in metal? This band sucks. Which band? Name one. I told you, I heard just earlier, I heard someone say, Black Sabbath sucks. And that's supposed to be like one of the canonized glory bands that every metalhead must like. No. I've also heard Slayer sucks. I've also heard Metallica sucks. Like that review I was just saying. That was great. I mean, I have heard, sure, you got like, what was the fuck their name up? The fucking Hunter Hendrix fucking bullshit with the transcendental fucking, that is legit garbage, and almost everyone says that sucks.
Yeah,
but like, I just
horrible.
named some that like people think are like that. Even normies know that those are metal gods. How could like a metalhead say they suck? Well, they do. And they're not saying that to be like some sort of edgy fucking punk or anything. They actually hold that opinion. Their opinion is wrong, but they can have that opinion.
Yes, just get away from me before I start swinging.
Mm-hmm.
But well, the one thing I hate now is hot takes. Because first off, most hot takes aren't very interesting at all. They're usually just being contradictory for the sake of being contradictory. I mean, have you actually heard a hot take, quote unquote, that you actually thought was interesting or hot? Like usually they're just like hot take, but this band sucks. It's like, yeah, that's not a hot take. That's just dumb.
Yeah. I mean, you want a controversial opinion in metal, it's this band rules. That's controversial.
But yeah, it's weird. But I think I mean I could understand this from teenagers, but once you grow up, goddamn, I hope you mature a little bit once you grow up. Speaking of controversial opinions, in metal, let's hear some music.
Yeah, why don't we just do that real quick?
Why don't we just do that real quick?
Damn, that's a sick outro there. The first one was Cannibal Corpse with Devoured by Vermin off of their Vile album.
First song with former Monstrosity vocalist George Corpse Grinder Fisher, of course. And what a way to open it. I see, they'll never admit it, but I wonder if that scream was kind of their way of saying, welcome to the band.
Exactly.
You know, this is our new vocalist. Especially if you ever heard the Barn version of Devoured by Vermin, it's not as good.
Yeah. The second one was Hyperdontia with Beast Within.
Off their new album.
Hideous Entity.
Yes. What did you think?
I thought that was nice.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
that fucking outro is just like so beautiful. It's like,
One of the
after
best.
all that fucking, I'm gonna fucking punch you in the face shit. It's like, and just it feels like the prime release.
One of the best new death metal bands around. And I mean, we're kind of in a golden age of new death metal, both, more brutal and more, traditional. We're definitely in a golden age of new death metal. There's just so many amazing bands out there. And you're going to hear some today. You're going to hear more today.
Yeah.
New death metal.
And, oh, fuck. I'm just going back to something you said before. It's like I see, like, this meme, like, a million times that, like, everyone is fake. Well, yeah, it's because they're all trying to be friends with you. This is what we call sycophants, kids. They kiss your ass to make you feel good until they want something off you, then they backstab you.
Yep.
Whereas if you're yourself, sure, you're going to drive a shit ton of people away, but you're also going to attract other people. You're not going to be popular with everyone, but the people you attract, well, yeah, they're probably the ones you want to hang out with, except for Elliot.
Fuck off.
No. You're the one that keeps threatening to kill me, which is why I have to kill you first. Fortunately, it's easier on me because you're blind.
You think it's easy to kill me, really? Remember,
it's easy to kill you. It might be difficult to escape your friends, but it's easy to kill you.
Yeah, but remember something, Jimbo. I'm blind, but you're old and decrepit, so I think we're even.
Yes, but you see, because I recognize that I'm old and decrepit, that means I'm not going to rely on fisticuffs. Oh, no.
Well,
I'm not going to rely on physical force. Oh, no. I'm going to rely on deception, and dear God, here's a bullet to the brain. I'm done fucking around like the old kids. I can't even last 5 minutes in the pit anymore. I'm not going to fucking last in a fucking fight. I could take some pain still, sure. I could still get back up on my ass. But why bother? I'm too old. Fuck that shit. I already proved my shit years ago. I'll just fucking,
But the thing is, Jim, you'll have to rewire it because I don't trust you at all. So how can you deceive me if I already don't trust you?
Simple. I already know you're going to do the opposite of what I'm going to say.
I'll just do nothing. Just stand there.
Which is exactly what I wanted you to do.
Then I'll move. Then it's just exactly what you wanted me to do, too.
There is no way to predict what I want you to do.
Yes, and then unfortunately you can't escape my friends who all beat you to death.
Well, I can fucking always, become Juan Jacage Valdez, move south of the border.
And then they rebuild me as a cyborg.
I'm the one getting rebuilt as a cyborg, bitch. I'm getting the laser beam eyes first.
Actually, no. We're rebuilding you as a cyborg. Unfortunately, all we have is really rusted out, malfunctioning parts. So you're going to be built as a cyborg.
Malfunctioning. That means I'm even more dangerous. Because I can't even control my actions. Hey, want a hug? Sure. He's eviscerated.
Yeah, we're gonna give you like grenades and guns and stuff, but the arms are so rusted and the hydraulics are so shot that we don't even know what you're doing.
That'd be great. Just like every motion I do is unintentional. And I'd be stuck in this constant purgatorious hell because I'm still alive.
But just imagine it takes like 5 hours to say anything because, again, you're rusted. How art. Meanwhile, like, grenades are firing off.
Yeah.
How are you?
Well, I still got to weaponize the blind here. I have to strap a flamethrower to your back. and like let you just walk downtown and see what happens.
Nice too.
No cane,
Nice
no
too.
nothing leading you, just seeing what the hell happens as you start realizing things are getting warmer here.
Nice too. Nice too. Your machine gun's going off. Nice too. Nice too. Meet you. Everyone is dead in like a 20-mile radius, and you're still on nice too. Meet you.
Yeah.
That is Hobo Cop.
Hobo cop.
Hobo RoboCop.
Bum, bum,
You were you were rebuilt. You were rebuilt so poorly.
Reminds me of Ghettotron. This is whenever we were trying out Mottler. I forget everything that was supposed to go into it, but it was like our version of Voltron, where like it had part of it was like a Seagram 7 bottle advertisement. One of the giant ones, and it was shaped into a bong, and like it had like fucking hot dog trucks in case you had the munchies. And
Yes.
a lighter for an arm so it could light its head, and you could
Nice.
get high as it blew everything out. And the entire reason we needed Ghettotron was so that we could smoke the dope beast, which was just a giant living humanoid marijuana plant.
Cross-examination did something similar many years later with the 400-foot tall blunt that was going around. It was already lit. It was going around and destroying things, and all the people who tried to fight it, got super high and wanted to play video games. And then the superheroes came and they started smoking the blunt.
I wrote down lyrics for this one song, for this one character I was creating. And the whole thing was we just grabbed some random hobo who was a fan of the band and injected him with crazy drugs. And he started mutating like, William Birkin from fucking Resident Evil 2, for those of you familiar with that. He just started mutating into something more massive, and, more things came out. And eventually he had like 3 brains, and one brain was a robot brain that just kept going on repeat. Another one was like some really evil beast, and the third was like, I don't know. And like, over a course of 4 songs, it detailed its evolution, and we accidentally created a god with our crazy space drugs, and we couldn't kill it. So the logic was, well, if you can't kill it, drug it. So we just got it really high to the point where like it couldn't function anymore, and we started playing Pong with its robot brain.
Yay! Well, sadly, your thing will not be God. In fact, but you do run you do run on alcohol. You need alcohol to keep everything functioning. And like I said, you have like bombs and guns and grenades and flamethrowers and stuff, but you really can't control how they act. And again, you're stuck in a loop most of the time. You're under, 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 under.
My protection.
Arrest.
No, my protection. Wait,
Oh.
you just leveled them all. Yes, they can't be killed again if they're already dead.
Yes. They can't be killed again. Oh, and you fart out fire, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, that's gonna be your cyborg, Jim. You want laser beam eyes? You're gonna get fucking like the most rusted out robot body ever.
Oh yeah, that's the shit we're talking about there. The most
Because
real.
I made you.
Oh god, that makes it even worse.
Yes, because I'm also blind. So, although I do know a girl who knows how to fix cars and shit, so I can ask her. But she'll probably get frustrated with me and leave.
Yes, that's probably what's going to happen.
Jim, are you alive?
Blap, blap.
Yeah, he's fine. He's
Oh
cool.
god, we were talking about, my girlfriend and I were conceptualizing this one thing called the sex buffet. Where like,
God.
it's like your fucking typical all-you-can-eat, salad bar. But like, there's people fucking in the middle of it, and in the middle there's like this one chick just taking a shit. And every time she releases a turd, you hear this like synthetic robot voice going plop, plop, plop. That is the poo-poo platter.
Ugh.
If you do not like it, the manager will shit directly into your mouth.
All right. Well, now that we've scared away everyone who is here,
Hey, man, this is how me and my girlfriend hang, man. We talk about this shit.
hey, mine usually talks about violence and horror and death.
Oh, well, we talk about all kinds of crazy, fucked up shit, including violence, horror, and death. But we also talk about the really disgusting shit that you probably only see on a Guar video.
I don't really talk politics and shit. My political opinion is that everyone is scum and everyone should die. Even
Hooray,
the
politics, everyone's
e-
favorite subject. Like
even
I
the
always say, kiddies, the only thing you have to know about politics is they're all just trying to make themselves and their friends rich at taxpayer expense.
even the politicians that you like some of their policies, you should never like that was the problem when Obama was elected. And everyone, oh, he's elected, he'll make everything better. I'm like, no, the president's not going to make anything better until you force him to make things better. Again, I said last week, why do you think the New Deal happened? The New Deal happened because people got really angry, and there was probably going to be a civil war. Oh, wait, if people had pressured Obama into actually making any changes, as Jello Biafra put it, keep the hot blowtorch up his ass. That's a great mental image right there.
And hell, let's even take a look at Trump. Who said all this shit. What the fuck did he actually do? Almost jack shit. He just went straight down the party line. The economy improved under him, yeah, but was that actually totally him, or is that businesses making better decisions than they usually do?
I think what they did with Trump is everyone else went to go have a meeting, and one of his staffers just gave him a phone and said, "Hey Donnie, we're gonna be in a presidential meeting for a couple hours. Here, play with Twitter."
Yeah, that's probably why he was on Twitter all the time.
It's kind of amazing how many because Reagan wasn't really president. Let's be honest, Reagan read his cue cards, and George W. Bush wasn't really president. Cheney was the one who actually ruled was in charge of the country. George W. Bush was, the frat boy mascot.
Oh, yeah, it was a lot smarter than he let on. Because a
Uh,
lot of that was an act just to make people endeared to him.
no, it
oh, look
wasn't.
at him, he's the cute idiot.
No, he wasn't. He failed at every business function he ever did. Yeah, he was not. But anyway, well, they did that. They tried to do that in '89 with the first Bush. They said that he was a wimp and he was really soft, which of course was not true at all. He was a former CIA director.
Yeah.
But but yeah, I
I mean, a lot of these presidents had a lot more sway than what I would give them credit for, as I found out years later. But at the same time, there are other hands in the pot.
I don't think. And
a lot of it was the act. I mean, hell, look at me. I'm getting my dick sucked in the fucking Oval Office. Bill Clinton.
I don't know how many presidents had sway. I don't think there's been presidents that have had sway. I know Johnson was basically tricked into and deceived.
Now you gotta give them some sway so that way it looks like they're still in charge, even though they're not.
Well,
because they have to be able to delude themselves into thinking they're still in charge.
So, are you familiar with the Vietnam War?
Yeah.
I mean, do you know much about it?
I know a bit about it. I've heard from plenty of teachers who've served in it and bitched out the politicians responsible.
I know that Lyndon Johnson was repeatedly deceived about the nature of how the war was going, so he would continue to fund the war. So that's what they do. They give the president whatever information that they want to give them, be it false or true, and then have the president act on it. So, I'm not a big fan of Lyndon Johnson, but he was apparently repeatedly deceived. And then there's the Gulf of Tonkin incident, which never really happened. But and of course, then there's the Spanish-American War, which probably with the remember the Maine, that whole thing.
But the main thing is just follow the fucking money, and you start seeing, oh wow, these guys are just making themselves and their friends at taxpayer expense. That's all it's been. The government's just their own little fucking cash cow.
The funny thing about Clinton was he did so many other things to be impeached for rather than getting a blowjob from an intern. Meanwhile, Newt Gingrich was having sex with the secretary. But anyway, the one thing that I can think of is signing away the airwaves in
Mm-hmm.
'96, the Telecommunications Act, which made it so that it used to be that Clear Channel or whatever, or Live Nation or some whatever could only own one radio station per area.
Now they own them
Now they
all.
can own as many as they want. And there were some public broadcast stations, but they gave most of them to, like NPR got a couple, but religious channels got most of them. So bye bye, college radio with any actual, like, you know, range.
Yeah.
In college radio is the only thing that's going to play, that's going to play good music,
Uh-huh.
at night, but still. So goodbye to that and hello to, I mean, I could literally drive from California to
And
Pennsylvania.
it's a complete homogenization of opinions. You're either
Well,
on, you know, the you're either on the left or on what looks like the right, but it's actually still the left.
yeah, no, I'm gonna have to disagree with you there. But I think it's the right and the actual right. There's no real left wing opinions anymore, which really pisses me off. With the left, you get histrionics, you get, you get, you know, cancel this, cancel that. There's no actual left wing opinions anymore. There's no freedom of speech left wing opinions anymore, and that's what really kind of annoys me. Is that
The
you
one
know,
thing we can agree on is that it's all pretty much the same damn
yeah,
garbage. They
yeah,
just
well,
flavor it differently, but they're saying the same exact shit.
yeah. So I mean, I could travel from California to Pennsylvania, which will take me days, and if I just listen to FM radio, I bet you I hear the same exact songs everywhere I go. Nothing's different, nothing ventured, nothing gained, and same with the news opinions. Talk shows. But yeah, that I did want to bring that up because you know I'm sort of I'm on the left. I'm like a social democrat, but I, when I first met Jim Brimmer Jim, I thought they were making all this shit up about the left, like you know how because there were people like that on the left, who would cancel 30-year-old tweets or whatever or 30-year-old comments, but we made fun of them. We called them wackos. You know, they
Then
were
you found out
definitely
they're actually in charge of, like, certain media outlets and actually have major voices now. And they're
which
actually
is
being a lot more effective than what you gave them credit for.
which is pretty scary. But the one thing I never did is I never said, "Well, okay, you've seen those like left wing libertarians, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or the ones who were left. I didn't leave left, the left left me or whatever." And to an extent, I feel sort of like that. But I never said, "Okay, well, I'm a centrist," or no, I'm still left. I'm not the prevailing opinion, which of course makes me a Nazi.
Yes, of course, because you're to the right of Stalin.
Yes. Well,
And if
I
you're
am
to the left of Hitler, you're obviously a fucking commie.
yes,
Those are the
but
people in charge of our political discourse, kids. Take it away from them. Mm-hmm.
yes, please take. I don't care what your beliefs are, as long as you can be rational about it. Like, I'll talk to anyone as long as they can be rational about their beliefs. Like, if you just start sloganeering and start telling me how I'm wrong, then no. But if you're actually like, okay, well, this is what I believe. I mean, I'm interested in
I mean, it's
learning.
one thing to tell you how you're wrong, but it's another thing to not give you a chance to rebut. Which is like one of the famous taxes. They just keep railing you and railing you and railing you. And it's like, that's not even giving a chance for rebuttal.
That's why I kind of got sick of Middlegate after a while because a lot of the really right wing people,
Mm-hmm.
if I said, "Now I think you're being a little unrealistic here," they call me, kill him, and it's like, really. First off, I was here before you joined,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I just
Oh,
it's
I even fucking abandoned it, and I was like one of the quote unquote founders or whatever. I don't know what the hell you describe it. Because I think I was the only, I was the only metalhead to jump on at the time, and then like other metalheads came in, and I knew that they were much further to the right than me, and I toyed with some of their ideas verbally, but it was more just to stir shit.
I did that too, but I was 21 years old, so. And you know me, I talked way more
I
openly
was in
about.
more of a fucking protest mode. Then I realized the patheticness of it all. I was like, yeah, fuck it.
I was more just. Well, I was kind of impressive, but you know, I went further than you did because I was speaking openly of some bands that even you were like, yeah, I like them, but like, shut up.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas now I
Yeah, there
like
are bands that I like of that political stripe, but that's because their music rocks, not because their lyrics are appeal to me.
same, but I was, and I never said that their lyrics appeal, but I kept posting them, you know, because I wanted to show that I was, you know, not like them. But now I'm like, yeah, whatever. I can talk about it with people that you know, but people who don't know me, they're gonna get the wrong idea. So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, so yeah,
And,
I remember them.
I mean,
The
that's part of just being yourself too. You gotta know, like, I mean, I could see, not dropping shit like that on people because you don't know. I
Yep,
mean, I could probably drop that shit on my girlfriend and she'd be okay with it.
yep, I can do it for
She might
my.
even get into a couple bands, but she probably wouldn't like a few.
I've mine like some stuff, but like I remember like the first episode of Metal Gear, I even said, you know, that's
But I
cool that you guys
really,
are.
to be perfectly honest, I haven't felt the urge to actually do that because I'm listening to so much other shit.
I just whatever comes on for me. But I said the first episode of Metal Gear I was on. You know, yeah, that's cool that you're freedom of speech, but beware of the type of the right wing types who claim freedom of speech, but what they mean is freedom of speech for me and not you. And
Yeah,
nobody listened.
I
Nobody
listened.
listened.
Well, I thought at
Well,
least I got
yes.
ducked out.
Well, yeah. Well, you're
And then, like
somebody.
the other dude, fucking poor Scott.
Oh my God, that's so sad.
He went from being sort of rational to okay, he had a bit of a fucking snafu, whatever, to dear, personal life thing. And then after that, he just started slowly. At first, it was slow, then it was rapid descent because, yeah, okay, conspiracies happen. And a couple were confirmed. So he started buying into more conspiracy theories and more. And it's like, no, you're not getting into complete whack job things that like require way too many people. There would have been a leak by now.
See, we
He was like, last I heard from him, he was like 3 steps away from saying the moon landing was faked.
See, we talked. So he always had an interest in stuff like conspiracies, but I always took it to be more of like the interest I have, which is more like study them and see why people believe in them. But we talked about it, and he agreed with me that, like, yeah, you have these like global conspiracies, and no one's going to say anything. You're counting on every world leader to be silent about everything ever. Um, so we would talk about it, but yeah, I'm glad I don't have Facebook anymore because I haven't seen that. I didn't see that side of him, but I remember he freaked out because you made a joke about you made a joke about the death cookie. Granted, it was completely out of context and he had no idea what you were talking about, but still, he kind of flipped out about that.
Death Cookie, which was reading up on fucking chick tracts. God.
Yeah, well, he was talking about being sober, and he said, "Do you want a cookie, a death cookie?" And he went off on your tangent or whatever. Which sometimes I have to admit, not everyone reads the same thing you do, and they can take that out of context.
Yeah, I know, and I usually have to explain it, but usually those who know me know that, yeah, Jim's going to say something off the wall because he read something or did something.
And see, you notice I always ask, like, what are you talking about? What are you
Whenever you're
blithering
completely
about?
clueless, you ask me, or like whenever you know that the crowd around me is going to view this as something completely alien to them, you're like, Jim, just explain yourself.
Yeah,
Just tell them the train of thought behind it, or where it came from.
Because, like, I understand how you come up with these. Well, sort of. When I say understand, I mean, blah.
You understand 66.6%.
Yes, but that's why I like
The other,
30,
33.7
30%,
or 4 or
34%. Yeah.
I fucked up my math on purpose. We'll say that.
But anyway, the rest But that's why I like Jim. He thinks. Sometimes I have to explain what he thinks.
Mm.
and that's, I mean, it's the same thing with this show. So I'm like, not everyone. I mean, like it used to be that only our like friends would listen to this show.
Mm-hmm. But like, I understand that. I'm grateful to have a girlfriend that actually understands that. And she understands it even more than you do. But still, there's moments where, she's got to ask me. And there's moments I got to ask her because she went completely off the rails. I'm like, wait, where'd that come from? And that's what makes us awesome, because we actually understand that part of each other. So it's like awesome.
Usually that's just when I'm high, and then I'll say something like that I was thinking about earlier, and I was like, didn't you think my thoughts?
No.
Well, that's why that's I've had to explain stuff that Jim said, and Jim's probably had to explain stuff that I said.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what the meaningless blather actually means is
Plop, 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 plop. Sex buffet.
Sex buffet. Gross. Although I don't know if Gigi Allen would like a shit bot though.
It's not a shit bot. It just, the only thing that's robotic about it is it says plop every time she releases a turd.
Yeah.
It's an actual chick doing it, because it's got to cater to all the things. Like I said, if you don't like the poo-poo platter she's making, it's the secret menu item, then the manager will shit directly into your mouth.
Yay! I said we were the sewer of the internet, and no one believed me. Everyone, you guys aren't that bad. Well, welcome to the poo-poo platter.
Blop. Let's get some other shit going.
That is so stupid. Yes, please.
first one was Grotesque with Submit to Death.
Off of their Incantation EP from 1990.
It's
That's
also on
the vocalist. What?
it says here on the Embrace of Evil.
That's their compilation, which you'll probably have an easier time tracking down than the Incantation EP. But the singer later went on to form At the Gates.
Cool. The next one was Necrodeath with Southenoram.
Off of the Into the Macabre album from '87. Oh, what a classic album that is! Some good proto black metal. Me like
Good
black
fun
metal.
shit.
You know, I was thinking, I went to go piss, which is what I did because.
That's what you
We
do
took a
all
break.
the time. Yes.
Well, yeah, I'm the piss man. I was thinking about why, so. I'm not big on labels, but I understand they have their uses. Okay.
Explain what the hell is this coming from?
Well, I was thinking about the people. Oh, I didn't leave the left. The left left me, or I'm going to stop calling myself a Satanist because the Church of Satan has, honed in on that. So I'm going to call it something else. I'm going to call myself something else. And my whole thing was, why? Why not just stick to your guns, regardless of what everyone else says? Like, why do you feel the need to change because everyone, just because, let's say the left isn't, the mainstream left isn't your thing, or someone else has taken the term Satanism, call yourself a Satanist or the left. First off, it pisses off the people you don't agree with and you don't like to still call yourself that, right? Because, you're using our term, but also just be true to yourself.
Exactly.
I mean, yeah, like I said, I don't like labels either, but I understand why they're there, and I use them because, so for example, you were talking about, no, there's too many genres in metal, and I go, well, there's a lot of variants in metal. I mean, what would you rather say? Well, this is like Cannibal Corpse, but with Iron Maiden-esque melodies, but also the vocals are slightly, or would you rather say, it's a melodic death metal band from Sweden?
There we go.
Or, it's like an old school melodic death metal band. Well, that tells people a lot more than, well, it's like, so
if
it's
you're
the same thing
writing
with,
a fucking review, yeah, fine, you can do that.
but if you're just telling someone about the band, if you're just telling someone about a band, it's the same thing if you're telling about your beliefs.
It just starts getting, extraneous data.
Well, it's the same thing if you tell people your belief. Well, I believe in this. Just I'm left wing, and I'm like a social democrat. There, boom.
See, I just like calling myself a religious conservative now because it's funny.
Yeah. Meanwhile, your friends and the friends I have are just laughing at that.
Good.
And they plan on murdering you.
Good.
Not because of that, just because.
I exist. I know.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
everyone wants to murder me because I exist.
Everyone wants to murder you because you exist. I just call myself what I am. It's like, yeah, this is as close to my beliefs as it gets, so I guess I'm this. But that doesn't mean I have to believe everything that everyone, every other social democrat believes. I'm my own person. But why do people? Well, like I said, I can't call myself left anymore because I don't like the mainstream left. I don't like mainstream metal. What am I gonna? I'm not a metalhead. I'm a. God, I don't even want to. I mean, when I say mainstream, I mean like new metal. I like Amon Amarth and shit. Trust me,
and
guys.
That's another thing too. You got the people that say I can only like the underground, bitch. Whatever.
Reaper Metal Productions calls them underground tough guys. The ones who think that Cannibal Corpse sold out, or that Toxic Holocaust sold out, or that Maggot Stomp bands aren't real death metal because
I look at it this way,
fans.
Kate. There's being childish and being immature. Being childish is you go out and you do some things that are like fucking, childish. But you're still mature enough to realize you gotta hold down a job. You're capable of determining things. You don't have to sit there and constantly proclaim that you're the best at everything. Being immature is you have to declare you're the smartest. You have to declare that you are the keeper of the one true way. You have to, outdo everything and still like fucking, and then you have to sit there and harp down and pick one side or another on something instead of, trying to check things out and see maybe you stand nowhere, and you always have to fucking give your quick take.
Being immature means that if someone says they don't like a certain comedy show, you say, well, you don't understand it, and you must not be a fan of sci-fi.
Yeah, really. Fucking shit.
Not just because it's just
Because I'm enlightened, and I'm open-minded, and I'm all these things.
Meanwhile,
bitch.
he wouldn't save it. Meanwhile, he wouldn't save a kid from a pedophile. So, who's the real asshole?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we always call ourselves assholes, but then when we actually meet one, it's like, oh yeah.
Oh, you bump into a fucking complete idiot.
Yeah, pretty much.
We've gotten a couple of those in the server lately.
Oh yeah, we have our Swine Metal Cult server, which you should join. Just know that we don't like idiots. But yeah, we have the Swine Metal Cult again. Link is in the description. But we've had some people who were just complete boneheads. So it's, you never quite know what to expect, but it's always interesting. It's always an interesting,
Yeah,
It's
what
always
do
an
I do
interesting
to?
ride.
It's like, what do I do to fit in here? Didn't you like see what people were doing here? Just do your own thing, and if you fit in, fine. If not, then you can either fuck off or keep going.
My favorite was, what's going on here? I'm like, you got to figure that out for yourself. This is sink or swim, guy, or girl, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
This is sink or swim. This is not. Yeah, this is learn. I mean, read the room. Read the room. Okay, if I could impart one word of wisdom to any internet communicator, read the room. Because you don't know how many times that I see. Sorry, my screen reader exploded. You don't know how many times I see people on forums or on servers post completely inane or random things in the middle of conversations. You have to learn to read the room and read what people are talking about. And if it's not your thing, because it wasn't my thing, well, go do something else.
Leave the server then. You don't need to belong everywhere.
Yeah, or if a server's getting too political and you're not political, go to another server for a while. Just leave it and go. Not leave it as in like leave the server, but just click to another server for a while and just wait till they stop talking politics, then get back into music. That's what I do. I mean, I just they're going off. I'm gonna talking politics in this world. I mean, everyone's completely histrionic, and my side's right, your side's wrong. And I remember a Canadian girl a couple years ago described American politics, which is spread all over the world now, as sort of a comic book good guys and bad guys. Like, not just I agree with this person, but this person is the superhero and this person is the villain. Sadly, that type of politics has invaded every country because of the internet and social media.
What do you mean invaded? It's always been there. Dude, this is older than the fucking internet.
Not to the point that it is now, unfortunately.
No, we just hear about it more.
Yeah, but...
And people are voicing their opinions now because we have an internet to fucking draw a spotlight. Look at this bastard. Look at that one. Look at those million people. Look at that million people. It's like... Yeah,
it's always been this way in America.
It's always been this way globally. Fuck.
But I've seen...
So you mean to tell me that they didn't bury Caligula's shit?
Yeah, that's thousands of years ago. Let's
that's thousands. Yes, that's thousands of years ago. But is that not a prime example of he's the villain? We have to strike him from the record, bury all his advancements.
Yes.
Everything that he's done has to be struck.
Yes,
is
but I
that
have
that's just proof that yeah, it's always been we're the good guys and that's the villain.
and in England, yes, but I have seen two or three like people from Canada. This is before just having a rational conversation about, well, here's what I believe and here's what I
You
believe,
still
and
have rational conversations like that.
it's it gets harder to find, unfortunately. That's why I avoid politics, because it gets
Oh,
harder
whenever
to
you got a
find.
class of people that are immature and incapable of accepting people come from different walks of life, they have different perspectives, different heritages, different places, they everything, just everything that makes you you, your entire history piling up, everything that you imbibe in, everything that you shat out, it's there. And then when you realize that, whenever you're mature enough to realize that, you can have debates with people that have wildly different fucking political views and
It kind
have
of
and
saddens me when
100% civil discussion.
it
But
kind of
notice,
saddens me when people 11 years older than me still can't have civilized discussion, or 20, even 20 years
yeah, but
older than me.
look at how they behave otherwise too. You could see the immaturity just fucking oozing from every orifice. I mean, it's not like, oh wow, I like comic books or I like, playing with GI Joes. Even they're not like that. They're like fucking still sitting there doing their own little worship thing instead of saying, yeah, this is a good shit.
Yeah,
Or
pretty
that
much.
shit sucks. But whatever. I don't care. They're still sitting there trying to convince people that their band is the greatest thing ever, instead of whatever.
And
I
yeah,
don't know.
and yes, I do agree that this has been going on for thousands of years. There was the guy that made a speech against Mark Antony. Mark Antony had his tongue cut out and nailed to a tree,
Yeah.
which is a little extreme. Although part of that wasn't just I'm the good guy and I'm the bad. It was, hey, I don't like what you said about me.
Mm-hmm.
And now yes, so yeah, like I said, I mean, it's just it. You can still find it, but it's really rare to find it. That's why I just don't get involved in it. Um, so I mean, you you have people. Well, and of course, there's immature trying to be mature, which we talked about last week, which was oh yes, you're watching cartoons. How childish.
You're still listening to metal.
You're listening to
Fuck
metal
you.
after 18. And that was someone that I actually like respected and like wanted their record collection.
And they sat there and fell in with the yuppie crowd and decided to be just as yuppie.
Yep.
So that's what that is. It's like you gotta be like this huge gloating snob that you're the smartest, you're the only one with taste in the world.
Well, they think well, also the other thing is they think getting older means abandoning like I was hearing someone, "Oh, yes, you can't eat ice cream when you're 20 or 30, or you have to like, there's certain foods you have to like by that." I'm like, "Says who? Who says I can't eat candy?" Well, like
Yeah, really. I've eaten like plenty of chocolate bars at work because
who
that's my
wrote the rules
lunch.
here? I mean, or or like I said, I mean, and I used to do the same thing. Like when I see people like, oh yeah, I'm watching SpongeBob as like a nostalgia thing. It's a show they grew up on and I grew up on. I was like, oh, you're still watching SpongeBob. Hey, someone didn't mature. And I'm like, yeah, I was watching Invader Zim the other day. Because I grew up on it. It was a great show, and I wanted to watch it again.
And the worst part is, when you have kids, you're going to want to show them the shit that you agreed with now
Yes,
as a kid.
I do shit on anime, but that's mostly because A, the fans are gross, and B, Jim likes anime.
Fuck you.
Fucking weebs.
Look, you haven't seen anything until you see a guy fucking cleave a guy in half with a sword that looks more like just a chunk of iron that was ripped out and unforged.
But then
It's
again, I can't talk because I
far
like
too heavy
anime
to be a
grind.
sword. It's just a chunk of iron, but it
But
is
then
a
again,
sword.
I can't talk because I unfortunately like an anime grind band.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to, but I was actually meaning to not listen to them. But the guy who we just had to boot, the Rick, the asshole guy we were talking about, who actually hit me onto a lot of good bands. So thanks for that. I see, Jim, even assholes have their uses.
Yeah,
But
sometimes.
but he actually showed me it's Andrew Lee from Rip to Shreds, his anime grind band. I was, even though I really like Andrew Lee, he's a nice guy. I mean, he's a nerd, but he's a nice guy. He's I was like, oh god, do I want to listen to anime grind? Like, do I want to go? Do I want to? He's like, no, dude, you got to listen to this. It's really riffy. I was like, oh shit, it is. Oh no. So yes, I like an anime grind band.
Yay.
And
You've
that's
learned something.
yes, but still no anime.
Fuck you. You know nothing.
Again, someone said, how do you and Jim get the chemistry? I'm like, well, I take shits on everything he likes, and he takes shit on everything I like.
Well, it's more than that. Whenever we first start off, you go back to the early episodes, we had no chemistry. We just spent so long that it grew. We learned it.
Yeah,
And that's a lot of traits too. You got to start somewhere. Yeah, you're gonna suck when you start out, but
well, I was just kind of
the
in
more
awe
practice
of,
you get in. God, the first time I was on TV, God. I mean, I was okay because I had some charisma to carry it, but there was so much I blew. It took me at least 5-6 episodes to actually get the hang of being on TV. You know.
Actually, viewers, I actually have his first pilot on TV, and I like to actually play you a sample from it. I'm Kamikaze Biker Jim. No, Jim's great on TV now. He's very campy and fun.
Well, that's the whole character, is being campy and over the top.
If I was on TV, I'd probably be nervous until we started rolling. Then I just get into the character.
Because it would probably take you a couple. Well, you doing this show would probably help out adapting quicker than I did. But it still takes. But I don't think it would take you that long. Because
whenever
of this, but you still got to have that adaptation period.
Whenever we were interviewing people, you should have. I mean, when we started interviewing people, I was nervous as shit. The first time we interviewed a couple people, I was like, oh my god, what am I getting myself into? I was nervous as shit. But you saw, Jim, as soon as the thing came on, I was like, bam. Except for the one time with Dale Patterson, but that wasn't nerve. That was, I had about 3 thoughts going on in my head and couldn't voice a single one. Mm-hmm. So you saved me there. Sadly, you'll never get to hear that because Jim didn't record that part.
Because I thought something else was recording it.
Yes.
But it was not, and that's why I changed the way I was doing things.
Yes, and it's better now.
Mm-hmm.
See, Jim's smart. Sort of. Smartish.
Not really. I'm an inbred with a single-digit IQ.
I'd say you're somewhat sentient.
God, no, I'm not.
You're not sentient at all.
Nah. I'm just an amorphous blob that reacts to stimuli, just as getting shocked up the ass.
That's actually... Don't tell him the secret. That's how we actually make you talk. We have to shock your ass.
Yeah.
Hi, welcome to the Swine Brothers show. But yeah, so that the first episode, I was like, wow, this is some older dude who's liked metal before I was born. I was like, yeah, this pathetic loser, whatever.
Yeah, I am a pathetic loser.
No, but that's how we got. And then, I have my own beliefs, and I call you out on shit, and you start throwing grenades at me,
I'm always fucking throwing shit.
Yes, you're always fucking... Let's hear some more music.
Yeah, let's do that.
Hello, sweetheart. I am so happy that I get to spend one more day together with you. They say home is where the heart is, so you must be my home. Sorry if I'm being cheesy. I just don't know how to put my love for you into words.
Alright, kiddies.
So, what's death metal? Slipknot or that?
Yeah, exactly. The first one was Hate Plow with Random Acts of Violence.
Yeah, that's a Malevolent Creation side project. They were much, shorter, more kind of death grindy.
And I think that was off the Only Law is Survival.
Yes, a very good album. Mid-90s death metal.
Mm-hmm. And the next one was Gorgasm with Dead Fuck.
Off of?
Masticate to Dominate.
That's some brutal death metal. I always joke about Gorgasm. It's brutal death metal that sounds like it, is recorded by people who work at AutoZone. Because it really does. It's very it's really sort of just blue collar, and that's no bullshit. Because I know brutal death metal bands, and most of them work at auto parts stores or Jiffy Lube.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Flem's literally too insane to get a job at Jiffy Lube. That's why do you think he's perfect for us?
Oh God.
I mean, at least you can get shit done. He can't. I guess he's I don't care. I don't think he'll mind sharing this because he'll probably say that on a show. But I guess he got his test results back, and yeah, he's basically a genetic mutant.
Hooray!
Yeah. So.
Mutant.
Flem's a friend of the show, sometime co-host. Me and him are going to start a show. I warn you, the show's going to be just us stone talking about metal, so it's probably going to suck. But we're going to start a show anyway.
That sounds like fun.
It does, and you're invited, of course, whenever you want to.
Whenever I can, yes.
Yes, you're invited, but you can also piss off. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Jim's invited in everything I do. Just sometimes he can't, or sometimes it's a spur of the moment thing. So I'm like, oh shit, sorry, Jim. I've interviewed a couple people or had like a couple conversations here, and like I said, it was a spur of the moment thing. So I was like, well, I'll just do it. And Jim uploads stuff to Swine Brothers sometimes. He used
How
to
the
upload all the
fuck?
Fright Night
I
Theaters.
just saw something that's fucking stupefied me. How the fuck can you be an anarchist yet demand people follow the law?
Because yeah, that's weird. Usually, if you're an anarchist, you demand people follow you, not the law.
Yeah, follow me and everything I say, because I am the law. Yeah. That's pretty much your typical anarchist. I know I was one. And I grew
know
out of
that.
that.
See, that's why I like Jello Biafra and Crass, because they were kind of anarchists, but they were also like, don't follow us. Make up your own minds.
Yeah, there you go. I
You
think,
know,
another thing is, the fault of anarchy is even if you were to somehow achieve a global anarchist state, all it takes is one silver tongue and, like, it's over. Because people start following them, and whatever your idea of anarchy is going to collapse under the weight of someone actually gathered people behind them, and they formed their own nation. So now either you have to form your own nation and retaliate, or let them wipe you out.
yep. And I mean, I firmly believe that most people are happy with being led.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's leaders and there's followers.
Yeah. I mean, at least I didn't delude myself about these stupid hippie utopian visions when I was an anarchist. I wanted Planet Grand Theft Auto before the game even existed.
Well, see, I had hippie utopian vision because I thought we could re-educate everyone in the world to think for themselves.
I knew that was well beyond hope.
I did too, but I still thought it because I wanted to make a difference or something. And then I was like, yeah, that's not happening.
I mean, I had many moments where I thought, yeah, I'm going to make a difference. Then I realized, oh shit, if I would have made a difference, how much worse life would have been.
Well, but at least we learn and we still have some convictions.
Yeah.
Every time I think I don't have like convictions, something stirs me like, oh yeah, I do. Or I don't like.
It's like I don't go shopping with, like Amazon because fucking. I got shop with them once a long time ago, but then I found out like how they treat their employees, and I disagree with that, so I just haven't shopped with them since.
We do, unfortunately. It's just, especially because I'm blind and I can't really go to the store and shit and find stuff. Hey, here, I brought home sauce. I brought home pasta sauce.
Pretty much the only time I hit up Walmart is if I am desperate for something and it's the only place that's open.
That's cat food. That's not sauce.
Good cat food.
So yeah, I unfortunately do the Amazon
So like,
thing.
there's many months. There was even one point where I didn't shop at Walmart for like 4 years.
So I mean, my whole problem with Amazon is it's ruined anyone's expectations for how other digital things act. Because like, yeah, Amazon will deliver your stuff today or tomorrow, but you go to like some like guy's record shop, digital record, distro, right? And he's saying, yeah, it'll be there in like 7 days or whatever, which is pretty fast to me because I remember I mean, Jim, do you remember the old days of eBay where, like, yes, this will take 5 months to get there, and you're like, 5 months, yay! Now it's like, this will take 5 days, cool, but everyone, oh, it's not there within 2 days. I want my money back.
Yeah, fuck them.
Flem sent me the first Mortician album. That was nice of him, wasn't it? Flem sent me the first Mortician album and the Carpathian Funeral CD, and I thought that that was the guy who you had your tooth problems.
Yeah.
But I thought it was gonna, because we were moving out at the time and we had to go out and basically be invisible because people were gonna look at the house. And I thought it was going to be there on Monday, and it got there on like the Thursday. It was actually got there like 4 days ahead of time, which was awesome. But yeah, so the thing with Amazon, it's ruined people's expectations for when things should arrive from the order on the web.
Can't have any patience at all. And of course, you got to go to one-click shopping instead of like using a filter so you could actually gauge what the hell your budget is.
My other problem with my other problem with internet shopping is I collect diecast cars because I can't see, right? So how am I gonna know what an El Camino looks like unless someone drives up in one? And if you do, please drive up in an El Camino. But anyway, but how am I gonna know what a new NASCAR car looks like? They kind of frown on you touching them in the garage, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, I sometimes I don't know what I want when it comes to diecast, so I like to browse, and you can't. It's hard to browse on Amazon. It's hard to browse. You got to kind of know what you're.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I do Amazon stuff, but that's just because I can. If if I could see and actually go to the store, then maybe I wouldn't. But yeah, they do treat their workers shittily. Thankfully, they're trying to unionize, but
No, that's another problem I have. It's like sometimes you get those good unions that actually try to fight for you. Then you get the other ones that are like even more corrupt than the company that they're trying to fight for your rights from, because they're just going to suck some money out of it, and they're going to try to take bribes from the company while they're sucking your dues out and embezzling it on top of it.
Well, my mother worked for a company that had a union, and the union yelled at her for working too fast. It's like, I mean, as long as they're not like abusing you. I mean, because Amazon was ridiculous. Amazon was like, "Oh yeah, you have to be piss break, you're fired," because we got to get everything in here, the same day. It's like, no, you don't. But yeah, unfortunately, I kind of have to use it by necessity.
Exactly. I mean, I understand. I mean, I try to avoid online shopping, but sometimes you just can't find what the fuck you're looking for, so you have to go online for
Well,
it.
and you understand why I have to do it.
Well, yeah, no one's taking you out all the time anytime you want to shop.
Yeah, unless because like I said, hey, I brought cereal. I bought cereal. This is laundry detergent. Oh well, I have some beer. That's ketchup. Oh well, um, here's some pasta. I don't know how you got that mixed up. That's a dog biscuit. Are you high? Well, yeah, but I'm also blind.
Yeah.
Blind and high shopping.
Into the next dimension you go.
It's sort of like your McDonald's thing where the stoners would come and you'd say whatever so fast it would blow their mind, and they would walk around for hours trying to figure out what they wanted to eat, only then to have the menu change on them again.
I still want to just do something where, like, the very first thing, if I were able to get you knocked out and get you, like, your eyes working somehow, and the very first thing you see whenever you have sight, first off, you're going to be tripping on 12 hits of acid. And then the very first thing you're going to see is, like, the most fucked up shit in the world. Then I'll make you blind again. So that's the only thing you have is that image of you being completely tripped out, fucking seeing, like, all the fucking twisted, morbid shit just melting into one thing, and just, it looks like you're being flushed down a toilet and back up again, and whatever the hell that provides, because you never had the function to see before. And this is the first thing you saw, and now it's the only thing you saw. It's the only memory of you ever having sight.
See, I have had acid trips where I've gone into space or whatever, and it's hard to describe, but you sense things. Like, I didn't see, but I sensed that the Earth was in ruins and I was flying in space. One time I had an acid trip, and I had a voice that was telling me what I was saying. Like, literally just a disembodied voice. This is the land of Corfania. This is the Knights of Corfania. Like, what the fuck is going on here? I'm hearing voices. And then, of course, there was the time I got so stoned. I did triple my usual dose of pot. And first off, I thought, like, it wasn't an unpleasant feeling, but I thought I was rotting. Like, I thought my skin was rotting off. Then all of a sudden, Jim comes into my room on a motorcycle, and all he says is, for 45 minutes, you are the blasphemy. Then he revs the motorcycle engine a couple times. You are the blasphemy.
Yeah.
And I was actually, like, I remember asking, what does that mean? You are the blasphemy.
I'm explaining it. I explain me being in your room on a motorcycle. Well, you can't. Therefore, you are the blasphemy. Vroom, vroom.
And it was actually funny because I was so I was with it enough to know that I was tripping, but I was out of it to kind of forget that, if you know what I mean. Like I knew I was high, and I could still walk and go to the bathroom, but I was like, meow.
Oh,
That, that,
God.
but so I actually look up the next day and like, did you call me on Skype or something? No. Oh, okay. Good. Imagine you call me. Imagine you call me on Skype. Okay, you ready to do the show? Why am I the blasphemy? Why? What?
The,
What?
you see, I'm more likely to say the walls want to melt. You only need the key. $5 a hit. What?
And he never spoke a complete sentence ever again.
Do, 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 do.
I like the time when I did another triple dose just to see how my tolerance was, and my tolerance has gotten better. But I was still too high to talk, and my GF called. Hey, do you want to call it? I was like, I'm too stoned to move my mouth right now. I could type, but I can't focus. But yeah, Jim does way more weed than I do, but he does it rarely, whereas I do 10 milligrams every night. Because phlegm is high all the time, and I don't want to get my tolerance to the point where I can't see the spaceships.
Yes, you want to see the spaceships.
And I can still see the spaceships.
As they shit downwards with corpses. Rancid corpses in their own defecation. And the corpses come to life, and then they start eating everything.
Jim and I tried to get high together, but his body sucked so much it took him about 6 hours to get high. By the time he got high, I was sober and went to bed.
Yeah, and then it finally kicked in. I was like, oh my God, what the hell happened?
Yeah, that was... Yeah, meanwhile, you were watching this thing, and I was, giggling my ass off, and you're like, nothing. Nothing. Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing.
It's nothing.
But, yeah, we're going to have to time that better, I guess.
And then I just sat there and looked at the cat. Yeah, well, I can time it better now.
Well, you also had the meaning of life as well. You knew the meaning of life one time.
Yes, I did. And I drank the orange Julius with the cigarette butt in it.
And then there was the one time where you had a conversation and you unraveled the mysteries of life.
Yes.
But it was actually
just 2 hours of video of us laughing at the stereo.
You watched the whole thing, right?
Yeah, we watched the whole thing to see if anything we said was on there. And no, it wasn't. It was just us laughing at the stereo. But we agreed we had the conversation. We knew we had the conversation. But, no, it was 2 hours of us laughing at the stereo. Occasionally it's like, her butt. Because we're just too tripped out of our skulls.
I remember a guy was saying that he he started messaging me going, because he was high, and he goes, I know the meaning of life. I should write it down. I was like, yeah, write it down and send it to me. And so he wrote it down, and it was literally like, see the blue dog go over the hill. Ha 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 ha. Brakes.
Brakes. Brakes.
It literally just had the word brakes in it.
Yeah.
Brakes.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah.
That's the good shit there.
That is good shit there.
Anyways.
Anyway.
What?
More music, I guess?
Yeah. first one was Frozen Soul with Invisible Tormentor.
Yes, off of their brand new album.
Glacial Domination.
It's a bolt thrower, but about ice. It's very bolt thrower-esque death metal. Just came out this year on Century Media, and you should get it if you like good death metal. Or
Yep.
don't if you like shitty death metal.
And then that last one was Endless Disease with Destroy Your Fucking Life. Off of Our Dawn is the End.
Yes, that was one of their EPs. Great blackened crust. It's very misanthropic and shit. From Texas. Actually, I think both bands are from Texas. Hey, weird. Texas hours. So yeah, I just say be yourself. I think that's the message I have for today. Is, rather than oh well, I don't like my fellow label mates did this, so I'm going to call myself that. Just say, okay, I don't get along with them, but I still believe in this. I mean,
On top
I don't
of
know
that,
what.
you gotta do stupid. If you want to actually emulate people like us, I don't know why. God,
Again,
you have to
because-
walk over you have to walk on top of an overpass, then just sit there and scream, "I have discovered myself!" Then whip it off and piss off the side while traffic's going underneath.
You know why they
And
want to
then
be like
get
us,
chased
Jim?
by a guy in a convertible. And then
You know why they want to be
almost
like?
die.
You know why they want to be like us, Jim? It's because we're different. We're not the mainstream. People see the mainstream as shallow and vapid, but they're not smart enough to make up their own identity, so they want to follow someone else.
I mean, fine, Dan. If you want to pick up a trade or two, you got to work on it. And a lot of that takes introspection, though, to see like what the fuck you actually want to do.
And
Because a
people
lot
don't
of it
want
is just figuring out, okay, there's all this shit that you're not going to like about yourself. Then there's other shit that other people aren't going to like about you. And you got to sit there and equate, okay, what I want to keep, what I want to ditch.
True. I mean, but yeah, it's a lot of people. They're not smart or confident enough to come up with their own personality. So hey, these guys. I mean, these guys are living outside of normalcy. I won't say society, but at least.
Oh, yeah, I agree with you 100% with normalcy, but, they're hanging out with a useless piece of shit that's hanging shit from his nut piercing. Well, it's hanging from a tree, and it happens to be a chair, and there's some other guy there who decides that he wants to sit down, and there's a chair floating in midair, and it takes him a
He's
few
tripping,
minutes.
by the way.
Yeah, they're all tripping.
Yes,
But,
everyone's.
But, he's takes him a few minutes to figure out, why the chair is screaming death threats at him. Now, keep in mind, he's too tripped. The guy grabbing the chair is too tripped out of his skull to realize that the chair floating in midair was actually attached to someone's nutsack through a chain wallet.
Which
chain.
is stupid as fuck to do.
And the guy that's hanging on the tree didn't immediately drop the moment someone started tugging on it. He held on to it tighter, screaming at him. And then once he let go of the chair, the guy holding on the tree finally let go of it, then picked up the damn thing, the chair still attached to the chain, and started twirling it around like he's gonna fucking, club the guy with it and chase him around, screaming, I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna kill you. Then, he let go of it to throw it at the guy, forgetting it was still attached to his nutsack.
So
That
what
scream
happened?
could be heard for 3 counties away.
I think I heard it.
Yeah. Dear fuck. You see, these are the horrible decisions you would have to make. These are the types of people you have to hang out with
Oh,
in
they don't
order
wanna
to
make-
develop some of these traits.
They don't want to make those decisions. They just want to superficially emulate people like us because we live outside of society to the best of our extent without becoming the fucking Unabomber.
I mean that's like another thing too. You actually got to go out and experience things, hang out with people, take chances. You got to mitigate. Sure, you can mitigate the risks some, but you still got to take some risks.
Yeah.
Oh god, that reminds me of that one dude that was trying to tell me no one believes in taking risks anymore. Bitch, what the fuck? Did 9/11 ruin you? Is that where, like, the fear just took over an entire generation and made them say, we're not taking risks anymore because they might fly planes into us? What the fuck?
No, it's not because they might fly planes into us. It's because we might get sick, or we might,
whatever the next panic is. There's always some sort of panic or scare going on. That's how the fucking government suckers you into saying, yes, I don't want these rights anymore because I don't need to have an opinion other than, whatever is commonly accepted. Yes, we should save the whales and, tell anyone that's making us food to fuck off because they're destroying the whales somehow.
I mean, Jim,
it was bad because there was like this fucking PETA meme that was like, here's what catching and releasing does. And instead of sitting there commenting anything about that, the first comment was like, but you do realize people are overfishing and destroying the oceans. And then after I fucking had my little tirade with them, they're like, yeah, but it's still bad because it's like, dude, you sound just like me whenever I was like, 17, 23, within that range and being just as self-righteous as I was. What's next? We gotta fucking depopulate the world? Oh, look, we gotta depopulate the world. Yes, I said that too when I was younger. All full of idealism, not knowing what the fuck I was saying.
Yeah, but...
Because, save the whales and shit was like, oh, wow, I actually care about something I actually didn't care that much about because I was making other choices that actually damaged things more than what I said I was protecting by doing so. I mean, fuck, you fucking... Any device you're listening to this on has fucking fucked the environment, okay? We gotta get rare earth metals. That's mining. And that's fucking hardcore waste coming out just for that. Then you got the plastics, which, we've, smoothed over the efforts, but are they making the plastics for the phones here, where there's regulations that actually try to clean up the air, or is it some... shithole where, like, they don't have an EPA kind of thing, and they're just able to pollute wherever the fuck they want.
So, if Lindbergh tried to did what he did today, he would be called a nutty kook. But back in the day, he was called a brave explorer. So, yes, I firmly believe that people don't take risks anymore. Look at how they look. Oh, we have to. Why there's people still wearing masks.
Yeah, I know.
There's people still wearing masks outside.
I mean, I can understand if you're the one that's got the disease.
Oh,
trying to contain it, but if you don't have a disease, then why are you wearing a mask?
I can understand if you're immunocompromised as well.
And that could work too, but you usually got a more hardcore mask than the ones they're offering if you're immunocompromised, because you actually got to get a doctor fill out forms and you'll get the good shit as opposed to the cheap shit everyone else is wearing.
I mean, I got vaccinated so I wouldn't have to wear a mask. That's pretty much the only reason why I did. I wasn't afraid of any disease or whatever, but I got vaccinated because I hated the masks.
Yeah, I just take my girlfriend out and now I'm immune.
But you are a disease, Jim.
I know I am.
But yeah, so there's people. I think with people, people don't want to go outside anymore and take risks. And I don't think there's anything to do with 9/11. I just think it's to do with people. Because people, come on, your generation was wussy. Your generation was wussy too.
Yeah, they were. I mean, like everyone else say, oh, they abandoned everything. No, they weren't.
Just because you did.
That's what the rock idols wanted you to think was going on. That wasn't everyone. That was actually a very, very small sliver of the population. Most of them were just as lame and boring as everyone else is today.
Yeah, right.
And that's the mystical Generation X that did everything.
Wait, stop. The what? The mystical Generation X? When did Generation X become mystical?
I don't know. I have seen I have seen kids like half my age, a third of my age, posting shits that's just pure Gen X worship. It's like, why? We were lame.
I thought Gen X sucked. I mean, there were
some cool people. There were a lot of cool people from it, but the vast majority of people were every bit as lame as the fuckwads you wanted to try to distance yourself within your own crowds today.
I mean, Jesus fuck, at least like the people born in 61, 62, 63 created metal genres. Gen X gave us pop punk. So thank you, Jim.
Ah,
If you're gonna blame me for my generation and you're gonna say this is what your generation think, yes, then I'm going to blame you for starting Blink 182.
well, fine. Yeah, we did that, and that's just an example of how my generation is lame.
Then again, that generation before also gave us fucking Duran Duran. So I mean, every generation's lame, but I always thought Gen X was like yeah,
They
I
sit
like
here and they look at the exceptions, not the rule.
I like 90s
I
animated
mean, it's like
shows.
whenever people go out there and say all boomers are evil, but they're only looking at like the top 1, maybe even top 5% of like earners within the boomer crowd. Do you want to know how many were fucked over by getting drafted into Vietnam, and they had to fight because they didn't have Richie Rich friends to flee them out of the country? They got totally screwed out of it, watched tons of friends die in some place fighting some war that they had no idea why the fuck it was being fought, let alone, what the fuck was going on there. And then they come home all fucking distressed, and the fucking VA fucking ditches them. All the fucking benefits they were promised don't come out. And instead of a ticker tape parade, they get fucking hippies spitting in their faces telling them how much they hated them because they went to fight a war, which the choice was go to prison or fight a war. All because, the hippies actually had money and could flee the country when they got drafted. I'm talking about the major hippies, not the people that just kind of clung on for the aesthetic, the poor schmucks that like, yeah, peace, dope, love, all that, without realizing, how fucking political the movement actually was. And it was more than just, oh yeah, war bad.
Yes, that's true. I mean, even I think every generation's been shitty. There's
I think that is like something people always like to say. The boomers did all this to steal your wealth. Yeah, and the boomers were the major ones that graduated college as hippies and started telling you to be proper little socialists. Yet, how many of you are proper little socialists now? You bought into what the boomers told you. Well, why don't you bash them? Why do you bash them for the one thing and not the other? You should bash them for both.
And then they sold out all their beliefs.
And then you also have to keep on. It's not no. They didn't even sell out their beliefs. They did the typical decay thing with them, where they wanted fame and money just like everyone else. So they didn't sell out because they were already that corrupt. And keep in mind, this is just the top, percentage here we're talking about. It's not all of them. Hell, it's only a small sliver, but they're the most visible ones that, made out like bandits. They preached socialism and made a mint. Or, they fucking jack moved everything and fucking huge fucking corporate moves and made a mint. And, you're blaming the entirety for what a small sliver did. You don't even realize how many boomers are still were fucking homeless back then and still are. Or fucking, how many have suffered for debilitating crap, but you gotta blame them all. Even I don't do that, and I realize the fucking shit that happened. Oh, God. And then you got people fucking worshiping Gen X. Don't do that, because there was many more that were just as corrupt as those fuckers from my generation. Don't sit here and glorify. God.
Interesting. Yeah,
It's like you just gotta quickly throw a label on it because it makes sense to you. And I understand, yeah, most people got the time to actually sit down and think of every little nuance there is. God. But you have to realize that people are people. And you know how, you started off with nothing when you're a kid? Well, some people stayed with nothing well into adulthood. And now they're 90, and they still have nothing.
And usually hippies were pretty totalitarian as well. You ever seen Easy Rider?
Oh, yeah.
Remember the hippie commune?
Yeah, they fucking shunned everyone. They shunned the bikers that showed up, yep.
And it's funny because everyone was saying, older people, oh, yeah, that's, you would like Easy Rider because you're like a, punk rocker and, hippies, whatever. Hippies were just punks before. I
Well, that's kind of what punks did too. They fucking shut people. Hell, especially now with them putting up huge labels saying you can't say these words, you can't do those things, and there was definitely a huge part of the fucking punk movement that was like, yeah, say whatever the fuck you want. Sure, if I don't like it, I'll
Oh yeah.
punch you in the
Oh yeah.
face, but then you're still able to fucking say it.
Oh, of course there are, and as Joel Biafra said, that's why we never get anything done because we're too busy shunning people because you're not a vegan or you listen to music that I don't like or whatever. And he's like, that's why we never get anything done. But I thought the hippie community was like way too totalitarian for my blood. Like so,
Oh yeah.
I understand that, but
Fucking shit, man.
but yeah, I think every generation has its faults, of course.
Every generation has its faults. Every generation has that top percentage of assholes that fucking milk it one way or the other. Or sometimes both ways. Or all ways, even. And most people are fucking stuck, somewhere in the middle. And then you also got a decent chunk that are stuck at the bottom for, 150 years of their lives before they die alone as their family abandoned them because they were born in the wrong generation.
I just think that, people don't look at taking risks and adventures the same anymore. Sadly.
To be fair, there was a bit of glorification of it, but most people still didn't take the risks in my day either. I just happened to bump into more people that did take those risks,
Yeah.
But, even my friends, yeah, sure, they took a risk and started doing drugs and shoplifting and this shit. But the ones that were from, the more well-off families, we're talking upper middle class and, the two that were, from actual upper class, sort of. Though they weren't technically quite there when I first met them, they wound up there because their parents actually started moving up in the company a bit more. But still, they envied me because I was dirt.
Yeah.
Therefore, I could do all the things they wished they could. I could say all the things they wished they could. Because their parents tried to instill them, you have to do this shit to get ahead. And they knew that the family would be pissed off at them. They started to deviate.
And that's why I think people do like us and people try to be like us because we do say what we think and we do what we want. And they can't comprehend just doing that, so they have to pose as people like us.
They have to mirror what we say.
Wait. But then they think that saying what you think just means making blatantly offensive statements. I'm being offensive. See, I'm being just like Elliot. It's like I say things, but I always mean what I say. I don't just go, I don't just make like a stupid joke or something. I mean, when I'm stoned, yeah, but that's among friends. If I'm here, I don't, I always mean what I say. Even if it's a joke, there's a point in the joke.
I go off my weird tangents and shit, but it's like just how my brain works. It's like, it's not like, oh, wow, I'm intentionally saying all this shit just to rise someone. No. I actually had an idea and I had to share it.
It's like the wannabe Carlins, the wannabe George Carlins who think that, hey, let's gross people out or let's offend people, and that's all George Carlin did. It's like, no, he made an offensive joke, then told you why it was offensive, and made you think about it, and then he said, haha, you thought about it too. You're going to hell just like I am.
Yeah, and mocked you for doing shit.
Yeah, and said, see, you're not pure. See, you're not pure. You're just as bad as I am.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I've always liked that side of him, rather than.
And
just
he
saying,
also had the points where he was like, "Yeah, this is what's common between us."
Yeah.
See, we always get fascinated by the fucking sickest, darkest aspects of humanity.
Yep.
And then he pointed that out, saying, "Yeah, see." And then there's other things that were similar too, like you walk into a room and forget why you went there. So you leave. Then you remember what you did. Then you walk back in and forget again.
I've done that. But there's another thing is that
And that's
people
completely sober.
people don't take risks, and people don't like. I never like to say, you can't do that nowadays, because you can do anything nowadays, just on a smaller budget. But like George, like suicide. If you make jokes about suicide, you're automatically the devil because you're encouraging it. George Carlin did a 10-minute thing about suicide on his next to last special, and people thought, oh, he must be angry or depressed because his wife died a couple of years ago. And I'm like, no, you don't get it. He's mentioning a subject that's taboo, that you're not supposed to talk about, and he's finding humor in it, and he's making you laugh along with it. And then you realize you're laughing at suicide, something you're not supposed to be laughing at, and maybe you start thinking for yourself a little bit.
Or you laugh even harder because you did something that's taboo even to yourself.
Well, he was talking about when he was a kid, he was the class clown, and he said he loved the class clown because, in class you're not supposed to laugh. So whenever somebody does something funny, the temptation to laugh is just overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
So he also liked making girls vomit, which is,
That's normal.
Yeah. But yeah, he would.
That's sometimes how you get laid. Just saying.
I can't. I've never made someone vomit. I made someone vomit and then they wanted to hit me, but.
Yeah, but that was, you just got to pull it off in the right way, and it's got to be the right kind of chick. Be like, that's totally sick. You made me vomit. I can respect that. I want to suck you off. Okay, thank you, baby.
Wash your mouth out with soap first, please, or wash your mouth off. I don't want to get vomit. Anyway. Yeah, that's gross. I like it.
There's lots of gross shit that happened in life.
But yeah, he made you think that. He made you think about it, and he made you think about taboo subjects. But I think that a lot of people, they'd rather not think about it because that might be triggering. What if someone has these thoughts? Well, if someone has these thoughts, then,
they were going to do it anyway.
So we were watching a movie, a documentary, Flem and I, the other day about death metal murders. It was about a murder in Italy, and the culprits were in a metal band, and they loved deicide. And so they murdered a girl as a sacrifice to the devil, and then they murdered the singer because he'd begun to question and mock them. And be, oh, it's the music's fault, And they one American psychologist guy talked about, well, most people don't listen to metal, but what if these people have these thoughts of, he said self-mutilization, which I thought was self-mutilization,
mutilization. That sounds like a word I would say.
That sounds
just
like a word.
Just to sound like a fucking moron.
But and you listen to these lyrics, and these lyrics might trigger, might encourage you, and I'm like, but you don't think it could go the other way? Like, hey, I'm depressed, and this music is telling me exactly how I'm feeling. That makes me kind of happy that I'm not alone in this world.
That's why that's what got me into metal in the first place, was I heard Sweating Bullets. I'm like, looking back, it's a bit of childish take, but when I was a kid, it was like, someone's trying to reach out to me because I was in a loony bin.
Yeah, and you were going to do something very stupid.
Mm-hmm.
But you heard the music and it was reaching out to you. But did the music
say it? And that saved people's lives right there.
Yeah, it stopped it. Whereas he was saying that it would encourage you just because some people killed some girl because they thought that they were Satanists.
And you always got your crazies, and they're always going to do something, and people are going to try to pin it on, something quick and easy so they could quickly compartmentalize it instead of spending the hours it takes to dissect it, because you don't want to waste that kind of time.
God,
we spent 16 hours reading that manifesto.
Elliot Rodgers' manifesto. Look, if they weren't, if metal didn't exist, maybe they would have turned to the Bible and started a Christian religious cult. Maybe they would have started a cult around the Beatles. By the way, no one would ever do that. Charles Manson reference. Maybe they would have started. Jello Biafra had a good joke about what if the Beatles never happened and all Manson had to go on was Elvis Presley. Love me tender on the wall and dripping blood.
Yeah.
You gotta, wow, oh God, 2 people have been butchered here. What's that on the wall? I'm all shook up.
That's even better. I'm all shook up in blood.
Oh, what's on the wall with that? You ain't nothing but a hound dog. That could actually work.
You see, I can understand why people don't dissect these things. I'm not saying you have to. Oh God, don't waste your time dissecting every single little thing in life. God, that's such a waste. You got to go out and live it, but at the same time, you have to just sit there and say, yeah, sometimes the crazies are just crazy.
Yeah, it's like the whole.
I mean, I know I made the joke last episode that the fucking Kardashians are proof that fucking rot your brain. The proof is that your generation turned into political activists.
God.
And it's not even all your generation that turned into political activists, first off. Second off, I'm certain people are complete lame wads that didn't even get involved in any of that. Watch that show. I never watched it. I just like mocking it because most of the people that liked it were like yuppie scum.
Everyone who liked it was yuppie scum. I can't even say most people. I'd say everyone who liked it was yuppie scum. And there's people who hate watched it, but God, I can't even imagine hate watching something like that. I would want to murder the TV.
Yeah, I know.
God, what was I going to say before you destroyed my thought with your other thought?
I don't know. Thoughts kill thoughts.
Thoughts kill thoughts. Yes, but yeah, I just think that people need to take more risks and don't try to be us. Jeez, I mean, hello. Do you not listen to the intro? The Swine Brothers show are not role models.
We're not even human.
We're complete monsters. Even though we're actually not dumb, crude, or thoughtless. But Jim thought that'd be funnier than my just...
No, we are dumb, crude, and thoughtless.
You are. I'm God.
No, I'm God. You're the blind prophet.
No, you're a
who will
single
betray
digit.
me.
You're an inbred with
No. So you're denying the fact we will have a holy war between the prophet and God. That's what that was our whole entire thing.
Of course
You're
we
supposed
will.
to be the blind prophet. I'm God, and you interpret my words and you say only what you feel like saying and misinterpret everything else. That pisses me off, and then we get pissed off over which version of Dissident Aggressor is better. We still haven't figured out who's picking Priest's original and who's picking Slayer's cover.
Yes. And
that's why 18 billion people have to die. In
yes.
a giant, senseless fucking holy war.
Over absolutely nothing.
Uh-huh.
And that's pretty much it. But yes, we are. But I wanted it I wanted a standard parental advisory, and Jim went way more creative than I did.
I didn't even go creative. I just ripped off Beavis and Butthead.
That's still more creative than the Swine Brothers show contains adult language.
Yeah, because they did something good with that.
But then we have the music, which is just fucking makes it.
Yeah. Speaking of that good music.
This has been the Swine Brothers Show, episode 209. 2 shows in 2 weeks. Wait 6 months for the third. I kid. We'll do more. Maybe. You can contact us at cosmicgodsdie@gmail.com. Facebook is facebook.com/@SwineBro666. At SwineBro666 on Twitter, and you can join our Discord at Swine Idol Cult. And also like, subscribe, and share, and comment.
Share the fuck out of it, kiddies.
And support the music that we play.
Yes, do that.
I am Elliot, that's the Jim. Bye. Get out.
It's a perfectly balanced cocaine mirror with metal straw.
Alright, see you guys later. I'm gonna do some cocaine off Bear.
A hooker's ass.